welcome to Brushtown Association, where we bring you live South Penn baseball. It's our Thursday night game here on Flea Flicker Media. It's George Marino's live action as the Brushtown Bulldogs are set to host the Mason-Dixon Rebels here today as the playoff push reaches here in the final weeks of the South Penn League. A regular 10 and 13, they're in the number 7 spot. Number 8, they're 8 and 15. The top 8 teams below them right now are just being held on. Dixon, it's North Carolina playoff spots. Brushtown can put some distance with a victory here today. Mason-Dixon below the cut line. The Bulldogs taking the field are defensive alignment for Brushtown. And a little something like this. Out in left field for the Bulldogs is Brady Dettenburn. Over in center field for Brushtown, that's Drake Hebron. And the right fielder for the Bulldogs, Luke Rickrode. The infield from right to left, Wesley DePorter at first base. Over at second for Brushtown, well, that is Aiden Whitmer. The shortstop for the Bulldogs, Josh Rickrode. And over at third is Jake Sherdell. The battery today for Brushtown. Behind the plate catching, it's a Blake DiPietro. And on the hill is Brandon Clayball. Clayball making his first appearance of the year here for Brushtown on the mound. So we'll see how far they let him go in this one. We'll see if he's fully stretched out or not here as the Bulldogs look to piece things together and go after this Mason-Dixon Rebels lineup that looks like this. For Mason-Dixon, the pitcher Kyle Robinstein bats leadoff. Brady Nouse playing second base and batting in the number 2 spot. Batting third is Harrison Hamdi, the shortstop. Timmy Castaneris, the left fielder, batting cleanup. Grant DeVivo, the catcher, bats 5th. Frank McCreary, the right fielder, batting 6th. Andrew Edwards in center and batting 7th. Mitch White, the third baseman, in the 8th spot. And rounding out the order is Kevin Serrano, the first baseman for Mason-Dixon. Just about ready to get going here today, and the first batter climbs in there. It's Robinstein, looking to get things started against Clayball. A little bit of a makeshift lineup here for Mason-Dixon here today. And we'll get to that in a moment, as here is pitch number 1, called a strike to Robinstein from a Clayball. The battle of the two pitchers going up against each other here to start things off. No balls and 2 strikes the count. Robinstein has hit .389 on the year, the highest in lineup batting average for Mason-Dixon for this one tonight. That one, the first one apparently was called a ball. That one is called a strike, and now it's 1 ball and 2 strikes the count to Robinstein, the former Southwestern Mustang. This one misses outside, and the count even 2 balls and 2 strikes. Robinstein is 14 for 36, 4 runs batted in on the season, all singles for him. This one is hit on the ground to second. Up with it and tossing it to first is the second baseman Whitmer, and 1 quickly away here on 5 pitches. So that'll send things to the number 2 spot in the order, Brady Nouse for Mason-Dixon. And the top 3 hitters in Mason-Dixon's order all are regulars that have averages over 300. You get down to 4 through 9 in the Mason-Dixon order, and they have just 2 hits total among those final 6 players on the season. Nouse takes strike 1. Good start here for Clayball, throwing strikes early on. That one a check swing, but they roll it a swing. I think he calls it on the swing, and it's no balls and 2 strikes now the count. Swing and a miss. Ball dropped by DiPietro. He'll have to complete the throw down to first to Porter there in foul territory, grabbing that one. And the first strikeout of the game for Clayball. And the first strikeout on Flea Flicker Media's Thursday Night Baseball tonight, brought to you by Battlefield Military Museum. As we were told for Brushtown, Clayball's got a little bit of a strict pitch count going into this one, so they're going to get into the bullpen here pretty quickly, but pretty efficient, the first two hitters of this ball game. The Harrison Hobby taking that one, and that one is a ball, 1 ball, and no strikes. Getting used to this home plate umpire and his gesticulations and signals, and looks like he points out towards the mound for balls, and he'll call strikes with an audible sound. Hobby, the shortstop for Mason-Dixon. He's hitting .333 on the year. This one chopped to third. Fielded there and thrown across to first. A Porter snaps it up. And it's a 3-up, 3-down inning for Clayball and the Brushtown Bulldogs. They'll grab their bats and head to the plate here, trying to break this scoreless tie. It's Mason-Dixon 0 and Brushtown coming to bat on Flea Flicker Media. Don't touch that dial, folks. Back with more live baseball in a moment.
Here at Flea Flicker Media, we so very obviously love sports. It's my goal to sprinkle a little bit of that love back into the community, one live sporting event at a time.
Back up the middle. Right as Keith is throwing home. Safe is Zach Ketterman, and the game is tied.
If you'd like to be featured on Flea Flicker Media, contact me at our Facebook page, Flea Flicker Media, at the George Marino's Facebook page.
First inning, we'll take a look at the Mason-Dixon Rebels defensive alignment here as they line up like this. Over at third base is Mitch White. The shortstop for Mason-Dixon, Harrison Hobby. You've seen him at the plate already. Second baseman is Brady Nouse. And over at first base for the Rebels, oh, that's Kevin Serrano. The outfield from left to right, Timmy Castaneris. In center, Andrew Edwards. And over in right field for the visiting Mason-Dixon Rebels is Frank McCreary. The battery for Mason-Dixon looks like this. It's Grant DeVivo behind the plate. And on the hill is Kyle Robinstein, the rare pitcher batting leadoff for his team. He'll toe the slab here at the Brushtown Athletic Association. And for Robinstein, it's his second appearance of the season. The former Southwestern Mustang, who also played for Southwestern York American Legion during the summers of his high school years. He has one appearance, 2/3 of an inning pitched. He faced 3 batters, walked 1, struck out 1. That was against Shippensburg. Leading things off is Brady Dettenburn for Brushtown, and we'll get to that lineup for the Bulldogs here in a moment. As Dettenburn, the left fielder, takes strike 1. Pops this one up in the air. This one's going to head towards the middle of the infield. Second baseman calling out for that one, and it's Nouse with the catch. 2 pitches and 1 out for the Mason-Dixon hurler Robinstein, and he's now completed a full inning on the mound this season. So Dettenburn pops out. Drake Hebron, the center fielder, will bat number 2. Luke Rickroad, the right fielder, bats third. Jake Sherdell, the third baseman, batting a cleanup for Brushtown. As here's the pitch to Hebron, called a ball. Brandon Clayball, the pitcher, bats 5th. Josh Rickroad, the shortstop, batting 6th. Blake DiPietro, the catcher, batting 7th. Wesley DePorter, first base, batting 8th. And Aiden Whitmer, the second baseman, batting at 9th. 2 balls and no strikes from Robinstein now to the number 2 hitter in the order, Drake Hebron. Hebron hitting .136 on the year, just 3 for 22, but enough for his manager to pencil him in the number 2 spot in the order here for this one today. And a healthy cut at that 2-0 offering, and the Catbirds perch there. He picked out something he liked and splashed it against the screen behind home plate. Feels good to air it out this early into the ball game, though. Especially batting this early in the order, you're going to get 3, maybe 4 plate appearances in this one, so. Ball down low, and he's fully in control of this at bat now. 3 balls and 1 strike now the count. As Brushtown bats for the first time here on this Thursday night baseball broadcast on Flea Flicker Media. Kyle Robinstein, the hurler, with the stirrup socks. Here's the kick, the toss. Lifting up the arms and backing away from that one is Hebron, and he's the first base runner of the ball game for either team as he'll head down to first base. And I was going to say he'll slap hands with the first base coach. Brushtown doesn't have anybody out there in the box yet right now. So Hebron all by himself on the field, and he'll look to matriculate him around here now as Luke Rickrode stands in the number 3 spot in the order for Brushtown. That one dips low and outside, 1 ball and no strikes. So Robinstein now has 2 walks and 1 strikeout on the season. This will be his 6th batter of the year, 3rd batter tonight. It'll double his total faced for the season at this point now. As Rickrode stands in there. Pickoff throw back to first, and sliding in safely is Hebron. Well, not sure if Hebron is apt to run over there, but Mason-Dixon certainly thinks he is. Hasn't been on base a whole ton this year for us to know the statistics on that. Here he goes, first move, and he should have this one stolen rather easily as DeVivo up and out of the chute, bouncing that one down to second base, and Hebron in there pretty easily with a stolen base. And that puts a man in scoring position here with just 1 away for Rickrode. I believe the pitch was a ball. I think it's 2 balls and no strikes now the count. Robinstein left of the leg, the pitch. That one misses inside, and the count is 2-1. That last pitch was actually a strike. Got excited with the runner taking off from first there. Wasn't really all that locked in on the pitch. Robinstein to the belt. The set, the kick, the throw. That one misses down low, and now it's 3 balls and 1 strike. Rickrode playing right field for Brushtown today. He's 9 for 31 on the season. A .290 batting average. Been one of their more powerful sluggers in the lineup this season. That one called a strike at the knees, and the count runs full now. With no force on here, doubt Hebron will be off and running, but maybe he will, thinking he could catch the battery and napping here a little bit. Didn't catch him napping the first time and stole that one easily. Here's the full count pitch. This one is ball 4. Umpire pointing Rickrode down to first, and Brushtown has 2 on here with just 1 out. Now they've got a base coach down there at first. That's Sharer over there. We saw him at pitch earlier on this season for Brushtown, our opening game of the season on Flea Flicker Media. Jake Sherdell, the 3rd baseman, strides to the plate now. Bounces in there, DeVivo blocks it up and looking ready to throw, but Hebron not going anywhere, and as a result, neither is Rickrode. Dettenburn popped out on 2 pitches to start the ball game, and since then it's been a pair of walks. Sherdell lugs a .254 batting average to the plate here on the 2025 season for this plate appearance. Now, jockeying the runner a little bit, it's Robinstein to the plate. Check swing, no swing, but called strike. Sherdell, the 3rd baseman for Brushtown, 15 hits on the season for him, tying him for most in the lineup today for Brushtown with Brady Dettenburn on the season. Waggling that bat over his back shoulder, this one down low. 2 balls and 1 strike now the count, and I gotta say, I do like this home plate umpire. He tells you what the count is after every single pitch. He's very clear with it, and it's nice for a broadcaster in this position here when we've got a lot of other stuff going on. The 2-1 offering from Robinstein. This one is hit to left field. That one's down the line. Rounding third and heading for home is Hebron. He'll score without a throw. Brushtown on the board. The trail runner moves up to third, and pulling into second with an RBI double is Sherdell. Brushtown on the board first, with Sherdell's third double of the season and 9th RBI on the year. So Brushtown with 1. They're set up for a couple more here, if they can make some solid contact. Robinstein will now deal with his opposite number, Brandon Clayball. Chopper down the third base line, sending the Brushtown third base coach after that one, and he'll race off into the nearby field to pick that one up. I want to wish everybody tuning in a happy July 4th. This is our July 4th broadcast since we're here on the 3rd. No games in the South Penn League tomorrow, or Saturday for that matter, as the league takes its holiday break. The 0-1 offering from Robinstein, up and in, and uncomfortable swing there from Clayball as he fouls that one back to the screen. Clayball wearing number 17, the pitcher to start this one off, and when they do go to the bullpen here soon, it'll be interesting to see if and where he goes into the field. 4 for 16 on the season for him, a .250 batting average. Brushtown with the lead, 1-0. Here's the pitch. That one misses outside. Modicum of count leverage gained back there by Clayball, and the count 1 ball and 2 strikes now. So glad you've tuned in here for this key matchup between the 7 and 8 spots in the South Penn League standings. Those are the final 2 playoff spots. These teams holding off all the competitors. There's a breaking ball in the dirt, swing and a miss. DeVivo tries to get the tag, misses, but then throws on down to first. Runner at third holding up, and 2 down now for Mason-Dixon as Robinstein gets his first strikeout of the ball game. 2nd of the season. Robinstein played for the Mike Recitar program and the American Legion, the Southwestern New York. A lot of good games at that ball field over the years. Used to cover them for the Inner Evening Sun. Josh Rickroad looks at strike number 1, and the count is no balls and 1 strike to him. He's looking to get that batting average off the interstate. It's 184 coming in, but he does have a home run on the season. Down low, 1 ball and 1 strike as he puts up the hand to tell the base runners to go back here, and they do. Quick look at the field here. It's Luke Rickroad over at third, and Jake Sherdell up at second. Robinstein, the 1-1 offering. Chipped foul back to the screen. We got a nice crowd here. This one lining up behind home plate here in the old school grandstand back there. Similar to what you see at Cashtown. One ball and 2 strikes now. Robinstein 1 strike away from getting out of this one, and it's a big job for him here for Mason-Dixon. The pitch fouled back to the screen, and they'll stay alive. Will Josh Rickroad. 7 hits and 38 trips for Rickroad on the season. 7 runs batted in. He's managed to score 11 runs, which is among the leaders on the team. And he picks up a big RBI opportunity here, and if he can keep things going, Blake DiPietro will be next. There's the pitch. This one misses down low, and DeVivo getting a workout here early on, but down to the knees to block that one, and the count evens up 2 balls and 2 strikes. Well, despite the power of Rickroad, the statistics say this is the guy that you want if you're Robinstein, as DiPietro on deck is hitting .320 on the year. Quick check of the runner at third, lifts the leg, here he comes to the plate. That one misses inside, and the count runs full 3 balls and 2 strikes. And a long first inning gets even longer here for Robinstein. You see Mason-Dixon a light bench here today. I believe they just came with, looks like 9 guys. Looks like they've got all of their guys in the field right now, so any pitching subs would have to come from the field. The payoff pitch. This one is hit on the ground to short. Bobbled. There's going to be no play at first. One will score the fake throw. That'll hold the second runner, trying to catch Sherdell leaning, and he wasn't. Coming home to score is Luke Rickroad on the grounder by Josh Rickroad. And Brushtown jumps in front 2-0. So it'll be a straight error, no RBI on the play, but feels good all the same for the guys in that first base dugout as they double their lead. Dealing with the sun beating down on us from behind here, so visibility a little bit difficult on our viewfinder, but we're doing our best battling through it, and we hope you're enjoying all the video and audio that we're bringing you back to your living room, your couch, the bar, wherever you're watching this one right now. It is Thursday night, Friday Juniors, so maybe some people getting started on the weekend activities a little early. Blake DiPietro trying to get started on the RBI activities. This one is down in the dirt, gets through to Vivo. He was able to use his body language to deke the runner enough not to come streaking home, as that one did kick all the way to the backstop, it looked like, but DeVivo slow played a little bit and then got right on top of it. Stolen base for Josh Rickroad as he moves up to second. He was going on the pitch. Bulldogs looking to put a real crooked number up here as they look to solidify their playoff position right now. That one at the knee is called a strike. DiPietro a little side tilt of the head, not sure about that one, but at least now he knows what it looks like. As we mentioned, 320 on the year for DiPietro, all singles. 4 runs batted in for the former Littlestown Thunderbolts catcher. 4 years as a Thunderbolt, 4 years as a Littlestown Dodger. Hits this one back to the mound. Robinstein blocks it down. He's going to pick it up and throw across to first. And they get DiPietro for the final out. 2 score for Brushtown. They'll take it. Robinstein averts a major disaster for Mason-Dixon. We'll move on here on Flea Flicker Media. Back in a moment with more live baseball.
Here at Flea Flicker Media, we so very obviously love sports. It's my goal to sprinkle a little bit of that love back into the community, one live sporting event at a time.
Back up the middle. We might have a play at the plate as Keith is throwing home. Safe is that Catterman, and the game is tied.
If you'd like to be featured on Flea Flicker Media, contact me at our Facebook page, Flea Flicker Media, or at the George Marino's Facebook page.
Back here live at Brushtown Athletic Association. We're proud to be bringing this one to you here, and the Brushtown Bulldogs with a proud effort in the first inning as they score 2 and take a 2-0 lead with Brandon Clayball on the hill. One other game in the South Penn League today. Black Sox at the Hagerstown Braves, and both of these teams are intently listening to what I'm saying right now about that game because Biglerville is number 9, directly behind each one of these two teams for that last playoff spot, and Biglerville trailing Hagerstown 2-0. They're batting in the top of the second down at North Hagerstown High School. Take a look at the South Penn League. But for now, it's Clayball going after the next hitter here for Mason-Dixon. This one hit on the ground, back up the middle. It's a single. First hit of the game, Fools. As they get it started here. That's the number 4 hitter in the order, Timmy Castaneris, with his second hit of the season for Mason-Dixon. A ringing single back up the middle. If you're going to hit a ground ball, you got to hit it hard, and you got to place it well like that one. This pickoff throw back to first, and Castaneris diving right in front of our broadcast location, back into the bag. Again, happy 4th of July to everybody. Hope you get your fill of hot dogs and barbecue tomorrow, but today it's gloves and bats from the South Penn League as this one misses up and in. Head high to Grant DeVivo. DeVivo, who is a friend of the program here on Flea Flicker Media. the catcher for Mason-Dixon, and he hits this one to left field. That's going to be caught. Dettenburn on the run. He hauls it in. And a quick out number one here for Clayball. So the single by Castaneris, one of the two Castanerises on this Mason-Dixon team. And Frank McCreary now the batter for Mason-Dixon. This sixth plate appearance of the game for Mason-Dixon will bring their right fielder up. Dips outside, 1 ball and no strikes. If you're the Rebels, you want to respond right here. As we said, the bottom 6 spots in the order came into this game with just 2 hits combined on the season. McCreary lashes this one to left. That's going to get down in front of Dettenburn. Dettenburn picking it up and tossing it into the cutoff man, but the Mason-Dixon Rebels, bottom 6 in the order, matching, doubling their hit total for the season. And the first 3 batters here in the second inning as McCreary drops one in there. He has his first hit and just his 3rd at bat of the season, and Mason-Dixon's got something cooking as we get down to 7, 8, and 9 for the Rebels. Another lefty up here, and that is Andrew Edwards. Ball up high. Edwards has the ignominy of being 0 for 16 on the season, but like 2 of his 3 teammates before him, maybe he'll pop the seal on some productive performances here. This one misses down low, 2 balls and no strikes, and you wonder just what that pitch count will be for Clayball here today, as we were told he was going to be monitored closely in his first appearance of the season. That one misses outside, 3 balls and no strikes to the Mason-Dixon Rebels number 7 hitter. So 3-0, have to figure the take will be on here for the center fielder for Mason-Dixon. Clayball not finding the zone, it's ball 4 and the bases are now loaded. Bases juiced here now, and out to the mound is the Brain Trust for Brushtown. That's Blake DiPietro, the catcher, out there, and the entire infield out there as well, talking things over. They'll disperse now with the bases loaded. They're probably thinking about what play they're going to put on here, if there's a dribbler in the infield or something like that. Mitch White, the third baseman for Mason-Dixon, stands in there. Takes a strike. White 0 for 3 on the season. Swing and a miss, no balls and 2 strikes now, and Clayball looking to take advantage of the bottom 2 hitters in this order here. But the guy next, Serrano, does have a hit on the season. He's 1 for 6. And 2 corner infielders for Mason-Dixon. It's no balls and 2 strikes. This ball is hit to the middle infield. Fielded there, a throw to second. Hustling at first base, and safe on the back end of that. No, he is called out. Yes, he is. He's called out, and that will put an end to the top of the second. So Mason-Dixon turned away. They leave 2 on. They had the bases loaded with just 1 out, and they get nothing. Good showing for them here in the second, but Clayball pitches through it. Back to Flea Flicker Media here in a moment.
Here at Flea Flicker Media, we so very obviously love sports. It's my goal to sprinkle a little bit of that love back into the community, one live sporting event at a time.
Back up the middle. We might have a play at the plate as Keith is throwing home. Safe is Zach Catterman, and the game is tied.
If you'd like to be featured on Flea Flicker Media, contact me at our Facebook page, Flea Flicker Media, or at the George Marino's Facebook page.
As we come back to the ballpark here in Brushtown, we'll take a look at the South Penn League standings. And the question is raised once again, will anyone stop the Cashtown Pirates this year? 22-0, Cashtown in first place by 7 games. Hagerstown 7.5 games. Hagerstown in second place, 13-6, 7-5. Littlestown 16-8 is in third. New Oxford 11-9-1 is in fourth. Frederick in fifth place at 12-11-1. The Hanover Hurricanes, the upstarts in their first year in the league, they're in sixth place, 11-11. They're 11 games back. 11's wild with that team. This one misses down and outside on the first pitch of the inning. Brushtown is 10-13 in seventh place. They're 12.5 back and 2 games up on the ninth place team for that 7th playoff spot. Mason-Dixon 8-15. They're 8th, as it's 2 balls and no strikes now. Mason-Dixon in a virtual tie with Biglerville, but percentage points ahead for that final playoff spot. Biglerville 6-13. North Carroll still in it at 5-15. They're a game and a half back, as this one a called strike, 2 balls and 1 strike. And Shippensburg, they're even in it at 2-15. They've got 11 games still to play, one of the highest remaining game totals in the season for any team. This one chopped foul down the third baseline and up off the white block on the face of the Mason-Dixon visitors dugout over there. So Wesley DePorter is the batter here for Brushtown. Chops this one foul as well, spinning out of there on that one, and almost a carbon of the last one. That's 2 balls and 2 strikes to DePorter, who is 14 for 49 on the year, good for a .286 batting average. Down and in with that one, and it's the same swing that he got on the previous 2. This time he got him to swing and miss, and Robinstein now has 2 punch-outs in this ball game. Robinstein now will go after the number 9 hitter, Aiden Whitmer. Second baseman misses down low, and he's been ball 1 to most of the Brushtown hitters here this first time through the order. This hitter wraps up the first time through the batting order for Robinstein. Staying down on it and throwing across to first for the out is the shortstop Harrison Hobdy, 6-3 on the putout, and 2 away here for Brushtown quickly. And that'll present a new challenge here for Robinstein as the top of the order comes back around. Brady Dettenburn takes ball 1 down and in. You'll remember his first time up, he saw 2 pitches and popped out to the second baseman, Nouse. Hits this one on the ground to the left side. That one's through for a single. And Dettenburn has his first hit of the season for him. And Brushtown trying to get a little something going here with 2 outs. Well, our zoom feature having an interesting time here. The zoom out is working great. The zoom in is not working very well at all. So stick with us here. As Hebron now the batter for Brushtown. Swing and a miss at that one, and Robinstein changing speeds very well to keep people guessing here for Brushtown. Guess we'll just have to do the manual zoom feature here. No balls and 1 strike to Hebron. There goes Dettenburn for second. The throw down from DeVivo not in time, and Dettenburn pilfers the bag. The pond here now, 180 feet away for Hebron. The count, no balls and 2 strikes now, though, to the center fielder for Brushtown. Robinstein 1 strike away. Rocks and fires. Here's the pitch. Hebron swing and a miss, and that will bring an end to the second inning. Robinstein jogs off the field, holding his head high with a pretty good feeling. Of the day so far, though, it's 2-0 as we head to the third inning here from Brushtown Athletic Association.
Here at Flea Flicker Media, we so very obviously love sports. It's my goal to sprinkle a little bit of that love back into the community, one live sporting event at a time.
Back up the middle. We might have a play at the plate as Keith is throwing home. Safe is Zach Ketterman, and the game is tied.
If you'd like to be featured on Flea Flicker Media, contact me at our Facebook page, Flea Flicker Media, or at the George Marino's Facebook page.
Here on Flea Flicker Media, we suspect that we'll be in Littlestown next week for our Wednesday game of the week as the Cashtown Pirates face off against the Littlestown Dodgers. Littlestown a little bit of a slump here as they've been overtaken by Hagerstown for the number 2 spot in the league, but still a very formidable opponent. And as you'll remember, last season we had the epic best-of-5 semifinal series that went the distance between Littlestown and Cashtown, with the Dodgers walking it off. Brandon Nail's sacrifice fly in the extra innings, bottom of the 8th, to win Game 5 2-1. And Littlestown finally got past Cashtown. They won the 2023 season series against the Pirates, but so here is ball 1 to Kevin Serrano. Strike 1 now, check swing, and I think the umpire is going to say he went around on the swing. Serrano 1 for 6 on the year. That one a called strike, 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's definitely been a hitter's zone here early on in this one, although that may be due to the pitchers being a little scattershot with their controls. This one is hit to right field. That one's going to be caught. Running it down in the corner there is Luke Rickrode. So Rickrode hauling that one in on the run, called it out loudly and clearly, and he was the only one anywhere near the vicinity of that ball coming down. He hauls it in, and the bottom spot in the order retired for out number 1. Kyle Robinstein to the plate now. He wrapped a grounder to second base his first time up, was retired 4-3. 1 ball and no strikes to Mason-Dixon's pitcher. It's still Clayball on the hill here, even though we were told he was going to face some pitch count restrictions here today. This one misses 3 balls and no strikes. Clayball's only walked 1 so far today. 1 strikeout for him as well. There's ball 4, and it's a 4-pitch walk to the gold-helmeted Robinstein as he'll rush down to first base here now. 1 out base runner here, the hair flowing as he... And Ethan Slusser is heading out to the mound. It looks like this might be fine for Brandon Clayball, and it is. As he takes the ball from him, there's going to be a meeting on the mound here. And somebody just went into the dugout to get a new glove. So we'll head to commercial break here for a moment. We'll be back in a minute to let you know about the pitching change. Don't touch that dial.
Here at Flea Flicker Media, we so very obviously love sports. It's my goal to sprinkle a little bit of that love back into the community, one live sporting event at a time.
Back up the middle. We might have a play at the plate as Keith is throwing home. Safe is Zach Ketterman, and the game is tied.
If you'd like to be featured on Flea Flicker Media, contact me at our Facebook page, Flea Flicker Media, or at the George Marino's Facebook page.
Aiden Whitmer taking over on the hill for Brushtown, and good time to remind you that this pitching change is brought to you by Battlefield Military Museum. So, for Whitmer on the season, this will be his 7th appearance. He has 6 prior appearances, 4 starts, 22 1/3 innings pitched. He has a 3-win and 2-loss record, 1 of 1 in save opportunities, 30 hits, 21 runs, 16 earned. 501 earned run average for him, 11 walks, and 16 strikeouts for the young right-handed hurler for Brushtown. And he'll deal with Brady Nouse to start things off here. So 2 1/3 effective innings from Clayball. He gets 7 outs for Brushtown. Gets him into the 3rd, and what more could they really have asked for on this sweltering evening here at Brushtown Athletic Association? 1 ball and 1 strike now, the count from Whitmer to Nouse. That one dips down low, 2 balls and 1 strike to one of the better hitters in Mason-Dixon's lineup. The 2-1 offering as Whitmer comes set. Here's the pitch. This one popped up on the infield. That one's going to reach the outfield. It is down, thrown away at second base, and Robinstein motoring to third as the ball gets into right field. So it'll be a single for Nouse, it looks like. And then they made the throw to second to try and get the force out, but it got away, backed up over there in left field, or in right field, excuse me. So it'll be men on the corners here for Mason-Dixon. We've got a number of defensive changes here for the Bulldogs, and in my grand foresight, I didn't bother to write down any of the jersey numbers for the starters, just their position numbers before the game, so that situation's a little bit of a mess right now, and I'll try to figure that out as we go along here. One thing's for certain, we have a new second baseman because the previous one is on the mound right now. Ball 1 to Harrison Hobdy. Men on the corners, just 1 out here. He drives this one to center. Making the catch is Hebron. He'll load up and throw. And he'll score. And Mason-Dixon on the board. As Mason-Dixon productive out there by Hobdy. And that gets the man home. Sack fly for Hobdy. It'll go down as his 3rd RBI of the season. Holding steady at first is Nouse. This one a called strike on the outside corner there to the number 4 hitter, Timmy Castaneris. Castaneris had the first hit of the ball game for the Rebels his first time up. Chops this one off the plate, and Grant DeVivo to a knee to try to, like he was being knighted over there. He's got his catching equipment on, half of it. That's your first clue that there's 2 outs in the inning. Catcher on deck, half his equipment on, and bat in hand. Ready for either contingency here. Aiden Whitmer hoping it's the one that involves him putting on all of the equipment. That one misses outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes, now the count. Now still over here at first base. Mason-Dixon has struck for 1 here in the 3rd. That run charged to Clayball. This one a called strike 3 as Whitmer gets out of it. Brushtown. They've arrived in this game. Brushtown coming to bat. Here, Flicker Media.
Here at Flea Flicker Media, we so very obviously love sports. It's my goal to sprinkle a little bit of that love back into the community, one live sporting event at a time.
Back up the middle. We might have a play at the plate as Keith is throwing home. Safe.
you'd like to be featured on Flea Flicker Media, contact me at our Facebook page, Flea Flicker Media, or at the George Marino's Facebook page.
There you see the Brushtown Bulldogs at the bat rack. They're getting ready for their third ups. It's the Brushtown Athletic Association. It'll be Luke and clay ball, although not sure if they kept the pitcher's spot. There are guys available down there here today. It's good to have a full bench in the South Penn League. Robinstein back to work. This one chopped foul off the screen behind home plate by Luke Rickrode. Rickrode walked his first time up, came around to score the second run of the ball game, the run that has Brushtown still in front right now. Backs his feet up, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike, gaining some what for from the Brushtown crowd behind home plate there on that one, as that one was a little too close for comfort, they thought, but a good purpose pitch. That one belt high, called a strike. And moving ahead in the count now is Robinstein. Brushtown holding a slim 2-1 lead here in the middle innings. Swing and a foul ball. DeVivo caught a piece of that one, and so did the home plate umpire. I think he got that one off his bare forearm. As you see him rubbing it, and DeVivo taking a moment. Professional courtesy for the umpire behind the plate there. His fellow mask mate back there. But we're back and ready to go. It's Robinstein. Squaring his shoulders to the hitter. Here's the pitch. Misses down and outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes now to Rickrode. 290 batting average for him on the year. It'll take 2 hits for him to get over the 300 mark at this point in the season. That one rolled off the plate inside, 3 balls and 2 strikes, eliciting some calls of good spot from the Mason-Dixon players in the field. So borderline pitch goes the way of Brushtown's Rickrode, the Luke variety. And a couple of batters we'll see Josh Rickrode. This one chopped foul down the third base line, and I don't know what exactly it is that Robinstein's throwing there, whether it's a curveball or a changeup or some other type of breaking pitch there, but he's getting that same kind of swing from several of the Brushtown batters, where they're flying out of there early and softly tapping it off the facing of the visitors' dugout. This one's not soft. It's hit to third, staying down on it and throwing across to first. And that be an error on the third baseman. Mitch White came up with it. He looked a little surprised to grab it as he looked into his glove and then threw a lawn dart to first base. Passed the first baseman, unable to hold on to it over there. Can only score that, a leadoff error here on the inning. Second error for Mason-Dixon in the ballgame. Brushtown has 1. Jake Shurdell now the batter, and he delivered the big blow of this ball game back in the first inning. Squaring to bunt, he pushes this one down the third base line. It's a good one. White. Placed bunt, single, and Brushtown with the first out in the bottom of the third. So Shurdell halfway to the cycle here. He's got the 2 easiest legs of it. Had an RBI double his first time up, and Brushtown now threatening to put some numbers on the board here. Clay ball, the batter now. Takes that one for a strike. Again, this is clay ball's spot in the order. We'll try to figure out if this is actually clay ball taking the at-bat here for you. Sometimes teams only let their pitchers pitch. Hagerstown, known for that. Misses down low, and the count evens 1 ball and 1 strike. George Marino's bringing you all the live action here of South Penn baseball on Flea Flicker Media. Our Thursday game of the week. An intense battle down near the bottom of the playoff standings here. The 7-seeded Brushtown Bulldogs and the 8-seeded Mason-Dixon Rebels trying to stay above water in the season's final weeks. This one misses up high. 2 balls and 1 strike now the count. A little surprised we didn't see him going up there and bunting the guy before him. Sherdell laid down a bunt. This is a sacrifice situation, but ahead in the count now, and the ball kicks away from DeVivo and moving up are both base runners here. As Rick rode over to third, and it cruising into second is Jake Sherdell. No need for a bunt now. Robinstein collecting his thoughts as he rubs up the ball and heads back to the mound. Infield coming in on the corners for Mason-Dixon. Looks This one is poked to second base. Lunging catch, a beautiful play made there by Nelson. They throw to second. It's a double play, just what the doctor ordered for Mason-Dixon. 4-6 double play. If they were playing normal depth, it probably would have been just 1 out because they were, well, the corners were playing in. I'm not sure if, I don't think up the middle they were playing in. Either way, Nels with a beautiful lunging grab. The runner Sherdell straight a little too far off of second there, and 2 quickly out here now for the Brushtown Bulldogs. Robinstein will now have 1 more guy to face here to get through this mess. Well, hang a star next to that one from Nels, as that's your early runaway freight train candidate for a play of the game. 1 ball and no strikes now to Josh Rickrode. He reached on an error by the shortstop his first time up, hit a ground ball that was bobbled and not handled. Brought home the game's 2nd run. That was all the way back in the 1st inning. 2 balls and no strikes the count. Runner still at third for Brushtown. That's Luke Rickrode. It's Josh Rickrode at the plate. The 2-0. That one just misses apparently, and it's called 3 balls and no strikes. Do have a replay feature this week. We should have replayed that play by now, but we'll be able to clip and paste that one from the broadcast later on. 3-0 pitch down and in, ball 4, and 4-pitch walk as Josh Rickrode sheds the gear. Boy, now that double play looks all the bigger for Mason-Dixon, as without that the bases would be loaded here. We're out to the mound to talk things over here. DeVivo with a little pep talk for Robinstein. And as we said, it looks like Mason-Dixon, the bare bones, the bare minimum here today with 9 players, because there's nobody on the bench over there for them. So if somebody were getting ready to come into the game as a relief pitcher, we wouldn't know, because nobody's warming up. Blake DiPietro stands in there. Robinstein looking back to first, and easily is Rickrode. Robinstein has now walked 3 in this ball game. 1 of them came around to score back in the 1st inning. DiPietro 0 for 1 on the day. Looking to even that out a little bit here. There goes the runner for second. DeVivo throws back to the mound. Clever play, but Brushtown not biting on it. It'll be a stolen base for Josh Rickrode, and Luke Rickrode not falling victim to that over at third base. Here's the kick, the throw. That looked like a breaking ball or a changeup. That was a really funky arm motion as he lobbed that one in there. Gets the strike call against DiPietro. The big burly catcher for Brushtown, batting in the number 7 spot. 2 in scoring position for him. 2 outs. 2 runs in this game for Brushtown. Some misses in the dirt. Do have first base open now if you're Brushtown. Wesley DePorter looming in the on-deck circle. A strikeout victim his first time up. DiPietro, who spent 4 years with the Littlestown Dodgers, looking to come through with a team that was once a longtime rival of the Dodgers, Brushtown, as this one misses outside and the count runs full. DiPietro, 4 years, Littlestown High School, 4 years with the Dodgers, and now I believe it's 4 years here with Brushtown. So hey, any teams in the South Penn League in need of catching help? No, just kidding. I didn't say that. This one misses outside. Now it's 3 balls and 2 strikes to DiPietro. And if you're Robinstein, lots of options here. Breaking ball, changeup, in the zone, out of the zone, pass ball, up and in. Anything you can imagine here is on the docket. You certainly don't want to throw a meatball though here and give up a 2 RBI hit. Robinstein to the belt. The 3-2 pitch. This one misses down low. Ball 4, and DiPietro will shed the bat and head down to first base, and it's Wesley DePorter lugging his lumber to the dish, and he picks up this big bases-loaded RBI opportunity for Brushtown. Bottom of the 3rd inning here. DePorter, who often catches for Brushtown, playing first base here today. And the sack's packed with dogs. Robinstein looking for a repeat performance of his first matchup with DePorter today. Off to a carbon copy start, a breaking ball in the dirt, swing and a miss, and no balls and 1 strike. DePorter came in hitting .286 on the season. That will go down slightly after his earlier out. Just looking to put something in play here and make the defense have to work for it. Kicking the toss from Robinstein. This one bounces in the dirt well in front of the plate, and DeVivo able to spear that one. And it's a good thing, too. 2 Rick Rhodes on, Luke at 3rd, and Josh at 2nd. DiPietro at 1st. Just 1 hit in the inning for Brushtown, and that was erased at second base on a double play. So the guys on have reached on an error and 2 walks. The pitch to DePorter, swing and a miss, pulled the string on him once again, as he's looking for that old number 1, and he just refuses to give it to him. One ball and 2 strikes. Now the count to the number 8 hitting first baseman for Brushtown, Wesley DePorter. Huge, dramatic-filled moment here in this game. Swing and a miss as he got him. I think he dialed that one up there, and strikeout to strand the bases loaded. Brushtown gets 1 hit, 1 error, a pair of walks, but no runs. We're through 3 innings here on Flea Flicker Media. Brushtown clinging to the lead, 2-1 over the Mason-Dixon Rebels. Back in a moment on Flea Flicker Media. Aiden Whitmer here on the hill to begin the top of the 4th inning for Brushtown. as they're the home standing team here. He allowed an inherited runner to score last inning, but nothing further to hold the lead for his team. And that closes the book on the starter, Brandon Clayball. As that one misses up and in to McCreary, leading things off for Mason-Dixon. And apologize, this is DeVivo actually. Apologize for not catching any of that pitch. We were busy changing the inning on the scoreboard as DeVivo is going to hit this one to the right side. Sliding play and no play as that one's through into right field, and DeVivo has his first hit of the game, and according to the Game Changer app, slashes that second base hole, and Mason in the fourth inning. Now it's McCreary. McCreary singled his first time up. It was also his first hit of the season. As that front shoulder getting backed out of there, but that up and in pitch almost bent back into the zone, but called a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. That one called a strike. For Clayball, the book closed on him. 2 1/3 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 walks, 1 earned run, 1 strikeout. And that'll leave his ERA under 3.50 for the season. It's one of the first foul balls we've seen that's left the playing surface here today. It goes into an unmowed patch of yard. One of the neighbors down the first base line here. And I've got no room to say anything because parts of my yard look just like that right now. This is up and in the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Was that at 9:30 at night last night, mowing with the light on my cell phone just so I could say I got some of the lawn mowed. Did a pretty good job too. The lines were straight and everything. The dog liked it. Swing and a miss, strike 3 from McCreary. Out number 1 and a big one. A big one here for Aiden Whitmer. So swinging strikeout, that's his first of the ball game since he's come on in relief. And now Andrew Edwards stands in there. Edwards walked his first time up. Good job getting on base. He's still 0 for the season though, 0 for 16. Somebody let the dogs loose. And I'm not talking about the Brushtown Bulldogs. I don't know if you can pick that up on the broadcast. Some dogs barking off in the distance, and that pitch. 1 strike now, the count 2, the number 7 hitter for Mason-Dixon. Here in the 4th inning, the other member of our crew has arrived. Hopefully bringing some goodies with him, because I am hungry. Check swing, they say you went around. Didn't look like you did, but enough for the home plate umpire to call it, and the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. Whitmer will look DeVivo back to first, and he's immediately back off the bag, marking off a lead defiantly once again. No chance to hit it, but it is an out for Whitmer. Second consecutive strikeout, and Mitch White will now pick up the pieces here of Grant DeVivo's leadoff single. 1 run, 4 hits, 2 errors for Mason. 1 run, 3 hits, 1 error for the Brushtown Bulldogs standing at home. And we're going to have a courtesy runner over here at first, and that is Edwards, the guy who just struck out, took his last at bat. They'll allow him to go in so he can get a head start on putting his equipment on with 2 outs. White takes strike 1. Look and shake of his head back for the home plate. Umpire didn't like that one. Ground out. That makes him 0 for 1 on the day. Swing and a miss, and he's in the 0-2 hole here now. White playing at third base here for Mason-Dixon. His error last inning didn't open the floodgates for Brushtown, but this strikeout opens the floodgates for a striking out of the side. Struck out all 3 outs he got in the inning, working around a leadoff single from DeVivo. We're halfway home on the show. Brushtown 2, Mason 1. Back in a moment. Don't touch that clicker. Back with more live action on Flea Flicker Media.
Here at Flea Flicker Media, we so very obviously love sports. It's my goal to sprinkle a little bit of that love back into the community, one live sporting event at a time.
Back up the middle. We might have a play at the plate as Keith is throwing home. Safe is Zach Catterman, and the game is tied.
If you'd like to be featured on Flea Flicker Media, contact me at our Facebook page, Flea Flicker Media, or at the George Marino's Facebook page.
Back here at the ballpark for the bottom of the fourth inning, it's Kyle Robinstein continuing for Mason-Dixon. It's been him all the way here in this one, the former Southwestern High School standout. Remember him as a little guy that batted either at the top or the bottom of the order most of the time early on in his career. But I think he was playing at varsity as a freshman. I may be wrong on that. I shouldn't speak on that, but I think he was. This one misses down low as leading off the inning for the Brushtown Bulldogs is Aiden Whitmer. It's pitcher versus pitcher once again. This time it's a different batter as the opposing pitcher. Taking all the way, 1 ball and 1 strike to Whitmer. Whitmer played Pepper with the shortstop his last time up, a 6-3 ground out. Check swing, takes that one up high. Pulled the elbows back so he didn't get hit, and that's a good thing because that's what you make your livelihood with as a pitcher. Well, part of your arm. Chopper scuffed foul down the third base line. Looks like Slusser over there, juggling it around before he throws it back to Robinstein. You wonder if there'll be a good grass stain or maybe a good scuff on that one. On the 2-strike pitch coming up here. Playing here in the bottom of the fourth. We're just over halfway through regulation. This one is hit hard to left field. That one's going to check up down the line. And checking up at first is Whitmer. As the ball thrown into second base goes a little wide, and having to knock it down over there was Nouse. Whitmer with the base hit. That's his 8th of the season. And it couldn't have come... Well, I guess it could have come at a bigger time. It couldn't have come at a much nicer time for Brushtown, as that clears the bottom of the order. It's a leadoff hit and gets things back up to Dettenburn, who already has a hit and a stolen base today. Brady Dettenburn, the left fielder, stands in there, a former DeLone Catholic standout running back. You'll sometimes see some of our filler highlight packages on our broadcasts on Flea Flicker Media, and they contain some touchdowns from Brady Dettenburn at DeLone Catholic. Don't happen to have that one queued up today, though. As there goes the runner for second, it's Whitmer. Still with a chance to throw through was DeVivo, but he couldn't come up with it cleanly. Shaking the dirt out of his glove over there, and that one a ball to Dettenburn. Dettenburn, 1 for 2 on the day, popped out to second. Singled and stole a bag. Not part of any of the run scoring for Brushtown in this one, though. That breeze blowing through the ballpark is welcome, as my recording device getting a little hot here as that one caught one of the fleshy parts of Dettenburn on the backside there, and he'll head down to first. First 2 men on here for Brushtown. Sharer, the first base coach here once again for Brushtown, and they have a lot of pitchers available to them here today, but we'll see if deep down on the list he could be one of the options. Being that we're halfway home through the game already and only on the second pitcher for Brushtown, they had at least 2 other guys listed ahead of him. That's probably not going to happen, but Hebron, the batter now, takes a strike. Umpire was calling it a strike before it even got in the catcher's glove. That's how good of a pitch that was. And that's how efficient he was there. That pitch hit the front edge of the plate, and he's calling it already. Hebron, no inkling to swing at that one. Takes it, gets a look at it. See if he does something with the 0-1 offering. He does. Skyward. Here comes the left fielder in to make the catch. He'll throw it into the cutoff man, and Whitmer will hold up. As Timmy Castaneris in there to grab that one. Big first out, and Brushtown doesn't seem to be a team that likes to bunt. They've had a couple of first and second nobody out situations here, and they haven't bunted either time. Usually that's an automatic in the South Penn League. Better grab my pen before this wind ripping through the park blows it off the stand up here as Luke Rickroad sends this one to left. It's Castaneris backtracking. He'll grab that one. Standing back towards the warning track. He'll throw to third as Whitmer tags and moves up. The throw wide of third base, giving Dettenburn a thought of moving up here. The bespectacled runner over at first base for, I almost said DeLone Catholic, for Brushtown. So Whitmer up to third, gains that 90 feet, but there are two down now. As Castaneris getting a workout over there. Cornfield not in full bloom here at Brushtown yet. Not sure exactly what their schedule is there, but sometimes you come here and it is. Lashed down the third base line. Diving attempt by the third baseman White. That one's a fair ball. Bobbled in left field. Dettenburn's gonna get the stop sign. The play is at second. Nobody covering as Sherdell goes down the line for his second hit of the ball game. His second RBI of the ball game. And Brushtown doubles their lead. The Bulldogs get the all-important insurance run here in the middle innings of what's turned into a pretty good pitcher's duel. That makes it 3-1. Now this is the original pitcher spot in the order. Again, we haven't figured out if this is still clay ball or not. This guy lined into a double play at second base the last time, swing and a miss. That one to the backstop. Here comes Dettenburn rumbling for home. Robinstein puts the tag down, close play, and he's called safe. Face full of dirt for Dettenburn, like he's rumbling into the end zone for the Squires on a Friday night, and he's in for the Bulldogs here to give them a 4-1 lead. Sherdell over to third, and the Bulldogs have 4. They'd love to have 5, as that would probably seem like 7 or 8 with the way their pitching staff has performed today. And with the Mason-Dixon lineup gutted on this weeknight game, with only 3 of their top hitters in up at the top. 1 ball and no strikes. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. A beautiful pitch as Robinstein recovering nicely there to get strike number 1. As the sun is behind a big cloud, and we hope it stays there for a while. That sun was really, if you had any visual problems with our broadcast here, sun was causing that. It was causing things to overheat a little bit over here, so getting a little bit of a reprieve. Misses down low. Robinstein in the middle of the diamond here. Just 1 runner at third, 2 already in for Brushtown. As a solid wind blowing through the ballpark directly into our face, left to right, and a little in from left. Not good home run hitting weather. Misses down and outside, 3 balls and 1 strike to count as Josh Rickroad is on deck. So Sherdell making the early case for player of the game as he has 3 hits now in this one and driven in 2 runs for Brushtown. As we did, player of the game gets a post-game interview, so better be thinking about that. This one is popped up to left. Castaneris on the run, and better let fly an expletive on that one as Castaneris does it himself, and he ties the record set by Manny Players a long time ago for most putouts in an inning by a left fielder. 3. He handled them all himself. Brushtown handles things with 2 runs. They lead it 4-1 as we head to the 5th inning here on Flea Flicker Media. Back in a moment.
Here at Flea Flicker Media, we so very obviously love sports. It's my goal to sprinkle a little bit of that love back into the community, 1 live sporting event at a time.
Back up the middle. We might have a play at the plate as Keith is throwing home. Safe.
featured on Flea Flicker Media, contact me at our Facebook page, Flea Flicker Media, or at the George Marino's Facebook page.
Back to action here for the bottom of the top of the fifth inning. Things happen a little bit quickly there. Either that or I took my break a little bit too long. I have a tendency to get a little long-winded when taking us to commercial, and that gets me in trouble sometimes. Brushtown 4 and Mason-Dixon 1 as the Rebels bat here in the top of the fifth. We play 7 in the South Penn League. No balls and 2 strikes as Aiden Whitmer begins his third inning on the mound here. Inning and 2/3 for him so far in relief. Kicking the toss, this one fouled off, and that'll keep things alive for the number 9 hitter, Kevin Serrano. Serrano hit a fly ball to right field that was caught on the run by Luke Rickrode back in the 3rd inning. He's 0 for 1. Swinging a foul tip. Almost thought it was a miss there for a minute as he thought the tip was DiPietro's glove. It definitely caught his glove, but caught the bat before that. Such a short, really incredibly short backstop here at Brushtown, so strikeout wild pitch is not a hugely common thing in this ballpark. It's got to kick at an angle off of some jutting out piece of equipment and go off to the side and then maybe even go out of play or hit the fence funny. 1 ball, 2 strikes, fouls this one off. 1 ball and 2 strikes, it will remain. As far as I know, the neighbors here at Brushtown don't steal the foul balls like they do in Littlestown. But that's a story for next week when we are in Littlestown. We'll have the South Penn game of the week, I believe, next Wednesday. Don't put it in Penn yet, but swing and a miss as Serrano is retired. 4 strikeouts in a row for Whitmer, who is not messing around since he's come into this ball game. Gave up the inherited runner that went on Clayball's ledger, a single by McCreary, or a single by Brady Nelson, a sac fly by Harrison Hobby, but 4 strikeouts in a row. Now it gets tough for Whitmer as you get back to the top 3 hitters in the order, all hitting over 300 on the season. It's Robinstein, and he looks that one over. 1 ball and no strikes. Robinstein walked his last time up. 0 for 1 otherwise as he grounded out to the second baseman to kick the ball game off here this evening. 2 balls and no strikes for Robinstein, and I believe that's either a gold helmet or a white helmet that he's wearing that's really covered in dirt. There's a called strike. 2 balls and 1 strike. We'll see if Whitmer can keep his streak going and channel his inner Sammy Stewart, the swinging Swananoan. Actually, the throwing Swananoan. I always do that. Swing and a miss from Robinstein. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Robinstein with those old-fashioned stirrup socks looks over this one outside, and the count is run full. Didn't hear anything about any pitch count restrictions for Whitmer here today as the ball gets loose in the infield. 3 balls, 2 strikes, the count to Robinstein. He came into today hopeful of pushing his batting average over 400. Swing and a miss, and that looks like a pipe dream after 3 plate appearances in this one. He'll hang a U-turn and head back to the dugout out. Number 2 and 5 strikeouts in a row for Aiden Whitmer. And he's getting some of the premium hitters at the top of the order now, too. Brady Nouse up. He struck out once today. He also singled. Part of 4 hits for the Rebels in this one. Pops this one up. Not going to leave the infield. Calling that is the shortstop. As that is Josh Rickrode putting it away. Brushtown will come back to bat. They've got the lead. Looking to be greedy here as they look for more. Back in a moment on Flea Flicker Media's Thursday Night Baseball from the Brushtown Athletic Association.
Here at Flea Flicker Media, we so very obviously love sports. It's my goal to sprinkle a little bit of that love back into the community, one live sporting event at a time.
Back up the middle. We might have a play at the plate as Keith is throwing home. Safe is Zach Catterman, and the game is tied.
If you'd like to be featured on Flea Flicker Media, contact me at our Facebook page, Flea Flicker Media, or at the George Marino's Facebook page.
Bottom of the fifth set to commence here from Brushtown. We're so thankful to the gracious folks at Brushtown Athletic Association for letting the Bulldogs play here. Once a four consecutive championship team, the Bulldogs won championships from 2005, 2006, 2007, and 2008. That was a steep fall for the Bulldogs as they went 3 consecutive years and 50-plus games without winning a game for a while there. But now the Bulldogs are back on the precipice of relevance here as we're here on Thursday Night Baseball. That should tell you something about these Bulldogs. As this is the game of the week and we're here. I circled this one, thought this was going to be a really good game, really good competition between two teams 7 and 8 in the standings. Squaring to bunt and putting that one down is the number 6 hitter. He is safe. And we'll take a look at that on replay as Josh Rickroad lays it down. And here we go. As the inning starts with Robinstein on the hill. Looked like he beat that pretty easily over there at first. A bunt single. There he lays it down. The throw from Robinstein and bang bang play, and the umpire calls him safe. Back to live action here as Blake DiPietro will have a man at first. There goes the runner for second. Throw down from DeVivo is short. Pretty strong throw considering the situation, but Rickroad using his wheels to get on and using his wheels to get over. Now they just got to get him over further and then get him in. DiPietro looking to help the Bulldogs pull away here on the late goings of this one. Misses inside 2 balls and no strikes. DiPietro 0 for 1. Does have a walk on his ledger. Scored the 4th Brushtown run last inning. Here's the kick and the throw. DiPietro lashes this one to center. That's going to get down. That one's knocked down. Here comes the runner rounding third. We might have a play at the plate. DeVivo says to hold up and not throw it through. Rickroad celebrating and pointing to the family as he scores that one. And Brushtown up by 4 now. DiPietro slashes one in there. That gives him his 5th run batted in of the season. And you know that feels good. DiPietro will take his lead at first base, and I tell you, he earned it there with that one. Sinking line drive that checks up in front of the center fielder, and with him unable to come up with it cleanly, that allowed the room for Rickroad to showcase his speed and make the tour of the bases. That's called manufacturing a run right there. Bunt single, steal second, take an extra base on a single to center field. That's speed on all 3 plays. 1 ball and no strike. The count now here is it's the number 8 spot in the order. This was DePorter's spot, but they pinch hit for him. They had a new first baseman in last inning, number 24 for Brushtown, and I've got to dig into my notes here to see who that is. Note to self, don't do the notes this way next time. That's Bitzer. Jesse Bitzer is standing in there at the plate. Very tall, and that pitch was still somehow over his head. Man, he gotta really work to get it up over his head. Bitzer, who's also a pitcher for Brushtown, stands in there for his first hacks of the day. DePorter struck out 2 times in his 2 plate appearances, and Bitzer will help to try to move people along here now as he's got DiPietro laying anchor at first base. DiPietro will now pick up that anchor and head down to second. Bitzer with a walk. And the Bulldogs threatening to run away with this one here in the 5th. I was talking to the Mason-Dixon manager over there in the dugout, and he said, "Don't judge us too harshly on this game tonight." And I said, "Dude, I think this is one of the best matchups of the week. Even though Mason-Dixon's a little short-handed coming in here to this game, the first 4.5 innings of this was a very close, very tight ball game. But as you often see in international basketball competition, the U.S. Olympic team, when they're playing like Slovenia or Russia or somebody like that, it's the second quarter, the third quarter when the bench unit comes in that the depth really makes the difference. And it seems like that's happening here for Brushtown. We're going to have a pitching change, and we'll keep it right here as we try to figure out the new positions for players right along with you, as Mason-Dixon doesn't have anybody on the bench. They've got all 9 of their players in the field, so pitcher's going to have to go somewhere in the field, and the new pitcher is going to come from, it looks like, center field. This mound visit brought to you by Battlefield Military Museum as it disperses here, and looks like Brady Nels, number 6, is going to take over on the hill. So Robinstein will grab a glove and go somewhere else, and the center fielder for Mason-Dixon, that was Andrew Edwards, and he's going to have to go somewhere else. Robinstein's going to the outfield. Looks like he's going to ply his trade perhaps in center field. Maybe in left. Timmy Castaneris is over in left, and he's been busy over there, so it looks like they're going to keep him right there and move Robinstein to center field. Nouse comes into the mound from second base, and then somebody else is going to go into second base to play. And we will take a quick commercial break here on Flea Flicker Media. We'll be back in a moment.
Here at Flea Flicker Media, we so very obviously love sports. It's my goal to sprinkle a little bit of that love back into the community, one live sporting event at a time.
Back up the middle. We might have a play at the plate as Keith is throwing home. Safe is Zach Catterman, and the game is tied.
If you'd like to be featured on Flea Flicker Media, contact me at our Facebook page, Flea Flicker Media, or at the George Marino's Facebook page.
Brady Nels into the game here. It'll be his second pitching appearance of the season. Much like Robinstein coming into this one, he has just 2/3 of an inning pitched on the year, which encompassed 3 batters faced. So he'll pick things up here with runners on first and second. And still nobody out here for Brushtown as Rick Road led off with a bunt single. Stole second. DiPietro had an RBI single to a left field. Bitzer walked. And Aiden Whitmer, the current pitcher for Brushtown, will stand in there looking to do some damage. The only other game in the South Penn League today is over already. Hagerstown defeating Biglerville 10-0 in 5 innings. This is a bunt down the first base line, and it's foul. Whitmer hustling it out. Oh, they're going to call it fair. They're going to call it fair. Somebody yelled out, and everybody on the defense thought it was a foul ball, but the home plate umpire pointing into fair territory, and a Whitmer, credit to him, full marks as he busted it down the line. He'll have the second Brushtown bunt single here of the inning, and that loads the bases. So the infield is going to have to come in at least at the corners there, as you hear DeVivo calling something out to the corners here. They are in at the corners. Back in the middle, they'll play for the double play in the middle and concede the run. As Brady Dettenburn, the bespectacled one, comes to the plate for a 4th time. Pop out in the first. Single and a stolen base in the second, and was hit by a pitch his last time up. This one called strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. To the former DeLone Catholic fullback. Brady now on the hill. Trying to keep things from getting out of hand here. Bases loaded, nobody out for the Brushtown Bulldogs. This one is hit to left. Castaneris is going back on it. That one's caught. Great job running that one down. There'll be a tag at third. DiPietro in to score. Brushtown gets another one. But Castaneris saved some major damage there as he spears that one running full out towards the corner. Brushtown gets one, but no advance from the other 2 runners, and that keeps the force in play. It keeps the runner from getting to third with less than 2 outs. And now it's looking out, and I don't know if that was a tip of a cap to his left fielder, but it should have been. Man, he's doing it out there in left field today. Hebron, the batter now. Checked up on that one, thought about swinging, but pulls it back. And again, called a strike before. It's into Vivo's mitt. Efficiency. So we'll see if that calms things down here for the Rebels. As they're jockeying the runner at second there, it's Hebron taking a ball number 1, 1 ball and 1 strike. Drake Hebron came into today hitting 136, 3 for 22. He hasn't improved on that as he's 0 for 2. But he walked and scored a run in the first inning, the very first run of the ball game, so he is contributing to the offensive effort for the Bulldogs. The 1-1 pitch, this one is driven to right. That's going to be caught. He's very angry about it, as he is out number 2 here, 0 for 3 now on the day for Hebron. He hit that ball hard, stayed with it nicely, went to the opposite field, all the things you want to see from a hitter. But no reward there, and baseball is a funny game like that. You can do everything right and still not get the reward. Brady Now's getting the reward here. 2 sharp line outs to the outfield, both corners. And he's 1 out away from putting out most of this fire here in the 5th inning and giving Mason-Dixon a chance to fight on into the final couple of innings of this one. Luke Rickrode, the batter now. Just looks powerful with the way he uses his hands as a hinge there at the plate. Takes that one, 1 ball and no strikes. Rickrode has a home run on the season, a couple of doubles. 0 for 2 on the day for him. Walked and scored back in the first as well. 2 balls and no strikes. After Rickrode is Sherdell, and that's who they don't want to face. Sherdell 3 for 3 on the day. They want to get this out right here. 2 balls and no strikes. That requires throwing something over the plate to this big hulking power hitter as he fouls that one back to the screen. 2 balls and 1 strike. And as we said, Biglerville losing today, 10-0 at Hagerstown, so that's good news for both these teams here today. As the winner of this game will gain a game on Biglerville, and the loser will stay even with Biglerville. Mason-Dixon in a virtual tie with Biglerville coming in, so they would stay percentage points ahead if the score doesn't change. Rickrode drives this one deep to right, backpedaling and making the catch is the right fielder. That's number 9, Frank McCreary, hauling it in. Brushtown pecking away. They put another one on the board. We will head to the top of the 6th inning with Brushtown up 6-1 here in the South Penn Game of the Week. Back in a moment with more live baseball. At least over there. Back here for the top of the 6th inning. Aiden Whitmer on the hill once again. 2 2/3 innings logged from him so far, in relief of the starter Brandon Clayball, who went 2 1/3 innings and was on a pitch count in his first pitching performance of the year. So we're ready to start the 6th. We're up in the upper part of the order for Mason-Dixon, as it is driven deep, left center field gap. This one is hauled in on the run. Brady Dettenburn robbing Harrison Hobdy. Got a great read on that one, stayed with it, and Hobdy will hang a U-turn like someone heading southbound in the Norm's parking lot and head back to the dugout. So one away here in the 6th. Heading down to the bottom 2/3 of the order here for Mason-Dixon, and while they've performed admirably today with 3 hits among them, that gives them 5 total among those 6 hitters on the season. Swing and a miss for strike 1 and strike 2, as Whitmer looking to get back to his strikeout ways. That one misses outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Struck out 5 in a row at one point in this ball game. Deal with Timmy Castaneris now. Looking at my dad here to see if is that a Greek name? Swing and a miss. He says maybe. So 2 away here for Whitmer. Another strikeout for him. It's his 6th of the ball game. And that'll bring friend of the program, Grant DeVivo, to the plate here. Solid ringing single through the hole on the right side his last time up. He'll look to do it again and get Mason-Dixon started with 2 outs. Out in front of that one, chops it foul down the third base line, and of course it goes past the fence down there. I don't want them to fix that fence down there because it's not a bad place to broadcast from if this location is ever a problem, but the ball always goes past that fence. Short chopper to third, throw across to first, dug out by Jesse Bitzer. Nice play by the first baseman for Brushtown. 5-3 on the putout, 3 up, 3 down. Goes Aiden Whitmer once again. And the Bulldogs will head back to the bat rack for what they hope is the last time here today. They lead at 6-1, flashing the leather on Thursday Night Baseball.
Here at Flea Flicker Media, we so very obviously love sports. It's my goal to sprinkle a little bit of that love back into the community, one live sporting event at a time.
Back up the middle. We might have a play at the plate as Keith is throwing home. Safe is Zach Ketterman, and the game is tied.
If you'd like to be featured on Flea Flicker Media, contact me at our Facebook page, Flea Flicker Media, or at the George Marino's Facebook page.
Brady Nouse back to work here for Mason-Dixon. As he psyched me out there, I thought he was getting ready for the first pitch of the inning. But it was just a warm-up toss, and it wasn't even the last one. Truth be told, my commercials ran out for the break, and that warm-up toss looked uncomfortable for DeVivo. So Nouse is on. He came on in the 5th inning, which was last inning with nobody out. Book closed on the starter Robinstein. He went 4+. He's responsible for all 5 runs allowed. I believe they're all earned. And he gave up 7 hits. So he struck out 3 guys. And now it is the Brushtown Bulldogs up to bat here in the 6th. That one a called strike. No balls and 1 strike to Sherdell. Sherdell has a double, 2 singles, 2 runs batted in this ball game, and he's been the catalyst on offense for the home standing Brushtown team. There's a strike. No balls and 2 strikes now the count. Play away here in the 6th for our July 4th game. I'd like to wish a happy 4th of July to everyone out there tuning in for this one. I know I'll be eating up the hot dogs and the barbecue and watching the fireworks tomorrow night. Swing and a miss. How's that for some fireworks? As a strikeout for Brady Nouse. So that'll bring Clay Ball to the plate, and that is, in fact, Clay Ball that's been taking the at-bats in the pitcher's spot. He went somewhere in the field, not sure where, but he's number 17, so. Looking for his first hit today, and he might just have it. He does. Checks up in front of the right fielder over the head of the second baseman. Base hit for Clay Ball, who started the game, got 7 outs for the Bulldogs. Now he punches a single to the right side. You know that feels good. Salvage job, a 1-for-4 day now for that batter. And he'll be a 1-out runner ahead of Josh Rickroad, who got his first hit of the game last time off a bunt single. This one a called strike. Rickroad not sure, having a conversation with the home plate umpire about it. DeVivo wants his pitcher to step off here as Clay Ball was marking off quite a lead over there at first. Brushtown now with 8 hits in the ball game. Here's the kick of the toss. Swing and a miss. DeVivo. Throw down to second. They might have him. They do. Nice. Oh, the ball kicks away. They called him out initially, and then the ball rolled away. Got dislodged on the slide. Everything was perfect from DeVivo with a catch. The pop time, the throw down to second. And then it just squirts out of the glove right there of Edwards out there, the second baseman. Switched positions with well, he came from center field to second last inning. No balls and 2 strikes now, as the pitch was a strike. I surmise it's easier to throw down to second on strikes, but definitely ones that are higher up in the zone. Although the old pitch out used to be a big time play for teams, and that's not a strike. That one isn't a strike either, as the count 1 ball and 2 strikes. Sun peeking out from behind the clouds once again here and drenching the infield dirt with a cool reddish tint. Looks like one of those 70s Super Bowls in Pasadena. Swing and a miss. He'll run down to first. They're going to hold the runner at second by looking him back. DeVivo with the throw down. And Serrano comes off the bag looking the runner, or he was on the bag for the throw and comes up looking at second to keep that runner there once again. Rickroad strikes out. Now a pinch hitter here for Brushtown in the number 7 spot. That's DiPietro's spot, the catcher for Brushtown. This is J.D. Sig, relation to one of my teachers in high school, my gym teacher. Josh Sig, he played for DeLone Catholic back in the 80s. Football, I might add to that. Not sure if he played a few other sports. We never really talked about that, but this one misses down and in to J.D. Sig. Giving a left-handed look here for the righty Nouse. This one a called strike to Sig. Had the third baseman covering over there because it looked like Clay Ball got a head start over there at second. At least he took off a little bit, but then he went back. Here's the kick. This one misses up high. 3 balls and 1 strike now to Sig. They finally got Sherdell out. They got Josh Rickroad out. Sig trying to hit with 2 outs here now. Now, with the line and the delivery, swing and a miss, and it's 3 balls and 2 strikes now. Then we'll have a payoff pitch in the bottom of the 6th. Reminder, we play 7 here in the South Penn League, so Brushtown will take whatever they can score here and try to defend it in the top of the 7th with 3 outs to get. Now it's the kick in the toss. Strike 3 called, belled high. Sig not sure about it. He'll pitch the bat away and grab a glove. We're through 6, Brushtown 6, and Mason-Dixon 1. 3 outs to get for the Bulldogs. We'll be back to capture them for you here live on Flea Flicker Media. Don't touch that clicker.
Here at Flea Flicker Media, we so very obviously love sports. It's my goal to sprinkle a little bit of that love back into the community, one live sporting event at a time.
Back up the middle. We might have a play at the plate as Keith is throwing home. Safe is Zach Catterman, and the game is tied.
If you'd like to be featured on Flea Flicker Media, contact me at our Facebook page, Flea Flicker Media, or at the George Marino's Facebook page.
Back here for the top of the 7th inning. What very well could be our last half inning of play. The Brushtown Bulldogs are counting on it. The Mason-Dixon Rebels are hoping to prolong things. Turned out to be a pretty nice day at Ye Old Ball Yard and a pretty competitive ball game for the most part here today. Brushtown holding a commanding 6-1 lead as we head to the 7th here, but it wasn't always this way. Brushtown led 2-1. Where they got 2 in the 4th, 1 in the 5th, and 1 more in the 6th. Excuse me, they got, yeah, that math isn't right. They got 2 in the 4th and 2 in the 5th then, because they didn't score any last inning. Here's Frank McCreary leading things off. He takes strike number 1. It's Whitmer still on the hill for Brushtown. Looking to wrap this one up. 6 punch outs for him here today. McCreary, Edwards, and White. That one misses down low, 1 ball and 1 strike. McCreary singled and struck out in this ball game. 1 for 2 for him. Pops this one up. Could be a silo shot. Yeah, it's too far. It's out of play. That's J.D. Sig behind the plate now for Brushtown as they give DiPietro the rest of the night off, and I'm sure he's thankful for that. DePorter had already come out of the game, so he's not the one they choose to go in and catch here. It's Sig. Swing and a miss from McCreary. And 1 down. Sig throws it to 3rd there, and then, well, they try to throw it around the horn. It ends up in right field. But you see from this catcher, big body catcher down there, why they like him at that position. A good, smooth, strong throwing motion. So 1 away here now as 7 strikeouts for Whitmer, and Andrew Edwards will try to get his first hit of the season. Soft one, ends up across the plate, no balls and 1 strike. Stay tuned at the conclusion of this one. We'll have an interview with one of the players on the winning team. This one is hit on the ground. Second baseman up with it, throw on to first. 4-3 on the putout. And Mason-Dixon down to their last out here in this one. As it's Mitch White All that stands between the Brushtown Bulldogs and their 11th victory of the season. This would give them a commanding 3-game lead on the last playoff spot over the Biglerville Black Sox. If they win here today, as the Black Sox went down to Mercy Rule 10-0 in Hagerstown today. Here's the kick and the throw. This one popped up, might leave the playing surface. It's not gonna, it's hauled in by Jesse Bitzer, and that will bring an end to this ball game. The Brushtown Bulldogs take it 6-1 and grab an important victory in the standings over one of the teams that's chasing them for the 7th playoff spot. Brushtown takes it 6-1. We'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with some interviews, and we'll wrap it up here on Flea Flicker Media. Again, Brushtown 6, Mason-Dixon 1. Stay tuned for postgame.
Here at Flea Flicker Media, we so very obviously love sports. It's my goal to sprinkle a little bit of that love back into the community, one live sporting event at a time.
Back up the middle. We might have a play at the plate as Keith is throwing home. Safe is Zach Catterman, and the game is tied.
If you'd like to be featured on Flea Flicker Media, contact me at our Facebook page, Flea Flicker Media, or at the George Marino's Facebook page.
Here with Jake Sherdell of the Brushtown Bulldogs. 3-hit day for you today. Drove in the first run of the ball game with that double. Big win for you guys as a team over one of the teams that's chasing you in the race for a playoff spot. What does this mean to come out of here with a victory tonight?
This is pretty awesome. We played a pretty good game. Our squad was there. Our pitchers, they pitched a hell of a game, and can't beat it.
Take me through that first at bat there. What were you looking for? What did you get? And what were your thoughts as that's going off the bat down the line there?
Looked for a fastball, knew it would eventually come, and I got it and ripped it down the line, which worked out for me.
How soon did you know that that was going through? Or did you put your head down and run, or did you see that get through?
No, I normally watch it. Yeah, Hey, if I saw it go through, which was nice.
And a big spot, you guys were able to get the run on the board there. How much better is it as a team in the dugout there to be playing from ahead from the very first inning?
It's been awesome. Most of our games is when we go down early in the first few innings and we lose them, but that double play that we turned in, I think the second inning with bases loaded to end the inning, that was a very good double play.
Yeah, talk about that play a little bit. What was that like, being a part of that with the guys?
Yeah, I think it was hit to Josh, and Josh rolled a perfect double play to Luke, and he threw a nice throw to, I think it was Wes. That was a good play.
Saw Brandon return to the mound here for you today. What did you see from him out there today?
He looked good out there. Yeah, he was on a pitch count, but he gave us all, and pitched well.
And then Aiden went in there and he struck out 5 guys in a row when he came in. I mean,
he's been pitching great all year. Hope he keeps it up. Yep.
All right. So the next game for you guys, is that on Sunday?
Yep, that'll be Sunday. Yep.
Who do you guys have?
The Flying Dogs, I think.
Okay, is that here?
No, it's at the
down
Mount.
at Mount. Okay, yep. We've been there for a game this year. It's a pretty nice venue. Okay. So, yep. All right. So Jake Sherdell, 3 hits for him today, a couple of RBIs. Thanks for doing this, Jake.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, you
Appreciate it.
have a good 4th of July weekend.
Thank you. You too.
Yep.
Here at Flea Flicker Media, we so very obviously love sports. It's my goal to sprinkle a little bit of that love back into the community, one live sporting event at a time.
Back up the middle. We might have a play at the plate as Keith is throwing home. Safe is Zach Catterman, and the game is tied.
If you'd like to be featured on Flea Flicker Media, contact me at our Facebook page, Flea Flicker Media, or at the George Marino's Facebook page. Here at Flea Flicker Media, we so very obviously love sports. It's my goal to sprinkle a little bit of that love back into the community, one live sporting event at a time.
Back up the middle. We might have a play at the plate as Keith is throwing home. Safe is Zach Catterman, and the game is tied.
If you'd like to be featured on Flea Flicker Media, contact me at our Facebook page, Flea Flicker Media, or at the George Marino's Facebook page.
Here at Brushtown Athletic Association, it's youth night, some kind of event going on here for the Bulldogs. They had the Bulldogs, I think U12 travel team. Not sure what the age group was there, but they came out to support the big guys here today, and the Brushtown Bulldogs didn't disappoint as they get a 6-1 victory, a key one in the race to get a playoff spot. They're holding firm at 7 right now. They move ahead of another game further ahead of Mason-Dixon. They get the head-to-head tiebreak with the Rebels. And they're now 3 games clear of the Biglerville Black Sox, who lost today 10-0 down at Hagerstown. So we'll take a look at the scoring for this one. So the game was done in just under 2 hours, about an hour and 55 minutes. The win goes to Aiden Whitmer. He's 4-2 on the year. The loss goes to Kyle Robinstein. It's his first decision. He's 0-1. For Mason-Dixon, it was 1 run on 4 hits with 2 errors. And for Brushtown, it was 6 runs on 8 hits with 1 error. Take you through the scoring summary on this one here today. The Bulldogs got at it right in the very first inning after a Brady Dettenburn pop-out started things. Drake Hebron drew a walk. Luke Rickroad drew a walk as well. And then Jake Shurdell plated one of them with an RBI double. Josh Rickroad reached on a ground ball to the shortstop that was booted, and that brought home the second Brushtown run, the run that would eventually be the winning run in the ballgame. Flash forward to the third inning, and the Mason-Dixon Rebels got one on the board. It was a walk by Robinstein, a single by Brady Nouse, and then a sac fly by Harrison Hobdy to put the Rebels on the board, cutting it to 2-1 at the time. That was the only run they would get on the day. Then in the third inning, Brushtown was turned aside. They left them loaded, but then they scored a couple in the fourth inning with Jake Sherdell, an RBI single, leading the way as they jumped on top 4-1. And then a wild pitch brought home Brady Dettenburn with the second run to make it 4-1. Blake DiPietro made it 5-1 in the fifth inning, and then a sacrifice fly from the Flying Dogs. A sacrifice fly from Brushtown made it 6-1, and that was all the run support they would need. That was all they would get. It was Aiden Whitmer on the hill going 3 2/3 innings. Struck out 7. I don't believe he gave up a hit. I think he gave up one hit. He gave up one hit in relief of Brandon Clayball, who was seeing his first game action on the pitching mound for the season. So the Bulldogs win it 6-1. Tentatively scheduled for the game of the week next Wednesday, it would be Cashtown at Littlestown as the Cashtown Pirates continue their quest for a perfect regular season. They're 22-0. Littlestown, one of the last real threats on their regular season schedule. And then those two teams could meet at some point in the postseason down the road. But for this one tonight, it's Brushtown 6, Mason-Dixon 1. We're so glad you tuned in on Flea Flicker Media for the game of the week. And now, signing off for my dad here with the technical support and bringing some food and all the stat guys in the truck and everybody who helped out with these broadcasts along the way. This is George Marinos. Have a good evening, everybody. We'll see you next week. Resumption of the game at another time. Boy, that would be pure chaos. There's the pitch. Swing and a miss, and the Cashtown Pirates win it. The Cashtown Pirates win it. They're back on top of the hill. 1 year away from the championship, and it's Anthony Lippy pitching them back to the reign of champions, and that one has to feel the sweetest of the 6 they've won. As Lippy heaved his glove sky high. The Pirates with a celebration unlike any I've seen from them for any of their championships. Akin to what Hagerstown did when they finally beat Cashtown last year. No balls and 2 strikes. The count holds steady. We're just getting ready for some preparations here to take a look at the on-field celebration. Here's the kick, the pitch. Strike 3, and the Hagerstown Braves have done it. The Hagerstown Braves are your 2021 South Penn League champions.
They are South Penn League 2021 champions.
you see it, the final score from tonight's South Penn League Championship Series, game number 4. The Hagerstown Braves putting up runs in each of the first 3 innings as they run away to victory in this one. And the Braves get to celebrate with the championship trophy here in 2021. We'll have post-game coverage here for you on the show as we continue into the night here. We'll have a word with the MVP of the series, the victorious manager for Hagerstown. We'll also try to get a word with Shippensburg manager Josh Petty before the evening is through. Hagerstown Braves, your 2021 South Penn League champions. For the first time ever, and the first time in 19 years, they're league champs. Is John Carter. His first decision of the postseason, 1-0. The loss goes to Well. Top. So here with Josh Topper, who pitched a 7-inning shutout here today. When did you know you were throwing a no-hitter? How soon did you realize that?
It was probably like the 5th inning, I think. I think when that error at first happened is.
Yep. So you've been a part of all 4 of these teams now?
Yeah, the first year I got here was the first 4 P.